All right, everybody. Are you ready for a brand new DCU update? All right, this is going to be kind of an interesting discussion we're going to have here today. And I wanted to do a video on Zack Snyder's Vero posts. People have been asking me for the last couple of days to do that, but I wanted to see what he was going to drop before I did a video, and I'm glad I did. So this all started with him posting a picture of Superman. Then he posted a picture of Batman, so everyone assumed we were going to get the Trinity, and then the next picture was Wonder Woman. We're going to look at these pictures, and then I'm going to talk about what this means for the future, because we have a bigger idea of what full circle means at this stage. And I'm going to give you basically 3 different ways that this can go, and what I personally think is going to happen based on what Zack has posted. So let's take a look at some of these photos here. All right, so this was the first photo. It says Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, April 28th, 29th, and 30th. Now, we do know now that these are going to be showings. These are going to be at a certain theater, and then Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be shown in IMAX at his SnyderCon event. This says, life is a cycle from birth to death to rebirth, and so the hero's journey is a cycle as well, a continuous journey of growth and transformation. Now, at this stage, people started speculating that this was him moving on to just doing Rebel Moon, that he is going to be moving away from DC entirely. He then proceeded to post a clean version of this photo, and I absolutely love this photo. I think this is amazing. These black and white photos that he posted, they're pretty beautiful shots. So he posted this so we could get a clear shot of it. And then yesterday we get this post. So this is where he revealed that these were going to be shown on those days. And I'm not sure what ACCD is. I haven't looked yet. And then IMAX on the 30th. So they're going to be doing a showing of each of these films. And I really wish I could go to this. I would love to go and find out what's going on and be able to report directly from there, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make that happen. So then today, I forgot he posted the clean shot of that as well, and I love this shot of Batman. I mean, he was able to capture Batman better than any filmmaker ever has. Just the look, the feel, like he was Batman, like that. And I was totally dead set against Ben Affleck playing Batman until that movie came out. And that warehouse scene alone, the best Batman scene that's ever been filmed. It's absolutely amazing. This is the way I envision Batman, when I'm reading comics. Very serious tone, very manly, very, big and bulky, not fat, but, a menace, basically. And then we got this one today, which is my favorite of all. And I think this is where we get a reveal. So the journey of the hero is about leaving the familiar and entering the unknown. Full circle. So that was his quote down at the bottom. But if you read the entire quote here at the beginning, it said, the journey of the hero is about leaving the familiar and entering the unknown. It's about encountering challenges and overcoming them. And it's about returning to the world of the familiar, but now transformed by the experience. Returning to the world of the familiar. This is the key right there. So people are speculating several different things, and let's talk about full circle. So first, full circle, it could mean several different things. I think there are basically three basic ways that this could go. Now, there's a lot of speculation out there right now that he has signed a massive contract with Netflix, like a 5 or more year deal exclusively with Netflix. And if he does, good for him. I think that's fantastic. I'll be there to see what he does. I loved, the Dawn of the Dead. I'm looking forward to watching Rebel Moon. And, I got to tell you, if you haven't watched one of my past videos, I was always on the fence as to whether he was going to be the guy until Zack Snyder's Justice League came out. There was always a fear in the back of my mind, now that we're getting Zack Snyder's Justice League, what if it's not good? And now it is my all-time favorite superhero film. I would put basically That up there at the top with Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Edition, second, and then Man of Steel, third. I absolutely love these films. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does personally. Now, this could be, let's talk about the first possibility here. The first possibility is this is him saying he's come full circle, he's done what he could with DC, and he's moving on. That this will be the definitive end of the Snyderverse, that he's admitting it, he's going to get behind it, and he is officially moving on. There's a certain sect of the internet that hopes that this is the case. Now, I personally do not think this is the case, because he's posted stuff in the past, and he has never been one to tease Snyder fans. He's always shot straight and given us little tidbits. And if you haven't noticed lately, we had James Gunn come out and make some comments, and everybody's pushing back on his comments. You had the comment that Ben Affleck made about not wanting to do a film for Gunn's universe at all. You have Gunn said that Zack Snyder had moved on, and he was happy doing Rebel Moon, and he's with Netflix, and that's that. But then you have this being posted, all these things that have been posted over the last week and a half with Full Circle, and then first it was that video, the transmission from Darkseid, and then you've got all these photos coming out. Right now, I don't think he's teasing the fans. I really don't. Now, I could be completely wrong. Maybe this is a final goodbye. That's definitely a possibility. I hope it's not. But he's either going to get closure on this, or one of two other things happened. One of these is that he is going to have a multi-year deal with Netflix. It's going to go way beyond what he's already got, which will be great for him. But that he has been allowed to license the Snyderverse over there to be able to continue and finish his story. That's one awesome possibility. But honestly, Netflix is losing money. People don't realize this. Most of these streaming networks didn't make any money. Most of them are losing money. And it's because they're putting too much money into some of their productions and not getting enough on the returns on their stuff. In fact, Disney came out and said, Disney Plus, they lost a crap ton of money. And Bob Iger came in and said, we're going to start releasing a lot of this stuff on physical media again. Because the digital is not where people are just yet. And they understand that they need to have this on digital as well as available for consumer purchase on physical media. And that's where I stand. If I can get the Star Wars materials that they've created on Disney Plus physically in discs, I am all for that. I will snatch those up in a heartbeat. I am a super large Star Wars fan. So I would love to have all of those programs. Even though I didn't love some of them, I would love to own them. So that's another possibility, and that could happen. I mean, that is a very real possibility. And when he talks about returning, he could absolutely return to this universe, and they could keep it separate. This, I think, is a good idea because you will appease both camps. Like I said, there is a fracture within the DC fan base. Those who enjoy Snyder's and Ayer stuff, want to see Ayer continue his, have his stuff released, and then you've got the other side that just absolutely hates everything Snyder did. There's really no in between. And there are some fans that claim to be true DC fans that are in between, but they certainly didn't go see Shazam 2, that's for sure. And I talked about this on my video yesterday. You can't blame Marvel, or you can't blame Snyder fans on this anymore. This is all on the studio. They made a huge mistake by doing what they did and announcing a reboot and then getting rid of Cavill. It's upset not just the Snyder fans, but also regular DC fans and a lot of moviegoers as well. And that is definitely evident by, Shazam made $30 million over the weekend, which is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Not as bad as Suicide Squad, but still pathetic. All right. That leads to the third possibility. And this one is very plausible as well. Because, and this goes back to when you hear things, and you see stuff being posted online that are half-truths, things that may be going on behind the scenes, and you're not quite sure if this is real or not. The first time we heard this was way back at San Diego Comic-Con, that Henry Cavill himself was going to make an appearance there to announce his return as Superman, which was half true. But he wasn't there because he was over on a soundstage somewhere actually filming his new scenes for also, for the Black Adam film, for the Flash film, and possibly for, at least one of these other, one of the other films that are getting released, that he filmed some extra scenes. That's what was really happening. So there were half-truths to that. Well, there was a report, and I actually did a video on this called, I think it was like The Secret Meeting. This was, 3 or 4 months ago, I believe, where they had announced that, somebody was speculating that Deborah Snyder had a meeting with Warner Brothers Discovery. There is a possibility that Zack Snyder could be going back over to the DC camp and maybe doing his movies as an Elseworlds storyline, which is very plausible. This, I think, is also a good thing if that happens. And for people who say that can't happen, you have to understand that Peter Safran and James Gunn are not the final decision on what happens with these films and with what gets released and what doesn't and what happens with these brands. It's ultimately on David Zaslav. And Zaslav has come out and he understands how important the Trinity is. And if he's a smart businessman, he has seen social media and the fact that Zack Snyder definitely has a huge following. And what an easy way to appease both sides. Give both sides what they want. You get to finish the Snyderverse storyline, and then you also get to have the new Gunverse over here. So, fans who weren't happy with the Snyder stuff could go to this, and then you've got the Snyder stuff that the fans can gravitate towards this. So I may do another video tonight or tomorrow. I want to talk about Shazam's box office. I want to show one specific quote that somebody put in my comments on my last video about Shazam. And I'm going to talk about how ridiculous this particular comment is and how it shows you how just pathetic things have gotten with the way people think about success with these films. Because it's not strictly about money. It's not strictly about ticket sales. It has to be a combination of both. And the fact is, way more people went to see the Snyder stuff. Everything up to Aquaman, there were tons of people going to the theaters. And after that, you had fewer people going, and now to the point where nobody wants to go see the DC brand. And it's pretty sad, but there's definitely a reason as to why this is happening. So I will address more of that in my next video. I do appreciate the support. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as I have new videos go up.